Have you ever stopped to think that the secret to transforming your financial and personal life might be something so simple you do every night, but never realize the power it holds? While most people waste time replaying the day's failures, the top 1% are using a subtle, powerful trick right before bed to program success into their subconscious. And the best part, it's not magic, it's science and discipline in action. If you feel like you lack consistency, emotional control, or self-confidence to hit your goals, this discovery could be the game changer you've been missing to finally reap the results you've always dreamed of. Get ready to see how a single sentence repeated with feeling and faith can flip the switch on your future. When someone lays their head on the pillow, it looks like the day's over, but their mind is still clocked in, quietly working while the body rests. That's the moment the subconscious grabs the last repeated thought and treats it like top priority, like an urgent task for tomorrow. For entrepreneurs, this is pure gold. The mind keeps sorting ideas, emotions, and choices even in sleep, hunting for new outcomes. If the last thing of the day is emotional chaos, it drags that chaos into the night. If it's a clear direction, it carries a plan. That's where discipline, self-confidence, and emotional control come into play. What are you handing your brain to manage while you sleep? Think of someone who repeats worry about debt, fear of messing up, and doubt about their own potential every night like it's a mantra. Without noticing, they're turning that into a kind of negative affirmation, training the subconscious to reinforce insecurity, freeze decisions, and sabotage results early on. Now picture that same mind receiving strong motivational lines tied to discipline, consistency, and prosperity before the lights go out. The brain keeps working, but now it's focused on solutions, opportunities, and confidence. People who get this start treating bedtime as a strategic tool, not just the end of a tiring day. It's almost funny. Tons of people study entrepreneurship, watch videos, jot down techniques, but when bedtime comes, they hand their minds over to drama, gossip, and unfettered worry as if it were free. The mind, though, charges steep interest because it keeps processing whatever it got last night after night. The wise person spots this huge blind spot. They're training their mind in the wrong direction at the single most powerful time of day. And when that time starts being used with discipline, motivational phrases, and a focus on new results, something quiet shifts inside, and it opens the door to a deeper next step about the power of one sentence before sleep. The difference between daydreaming and actually changing your life starts with a simple ritual, repeating a strong motivational sentence, full of self-confidence and discipline, in the last hour of the day. In that moment, the mind is vulnerable and open to suggestion, like fertile soil ready for new seeds of outcomes. The secret of successful entrepreneurship isn't just conscious action. It's repeating this intention until it builds a new identity of consistency and emotional control. Imagine someone who every night declares to themselves, "I'm disciplined, I focus on what matters, and I achieve big results." With consistency and feeling, that sentence begins to redefine who they are, turning insecurity into self-belief, laziness into discipline, and doubt into certainty. It's as if the brain paints a new portrait of the person, reinforcing motivational lines and goals even while the body sleeps. Big names in entrepreneurship have used this practice, knowing the biggest gains come from within. But here's a detail many miss. Not just any throwaway sentence before bed will do. You need to feel it, believe it, and repeat it like you're programming your future. The loop is real. Sounds like magic, but it's pure mind science and years of discipline. Once you master this trick, the next step is learning to shield your thoughts from fear and doubt, so your subconscious is ready for even bigger wins. The human mind is a powerful machine, but it follows the law of suggestion. What you focus on multiplies. Thoughts loaded with fear, doubt, and insecurity act like a virus that weakens self-confidence and blocks the path to good results. It's like hitting the reset button for failure, because the subconscious reads those emotions as orders to stall or fail. On the flip side, clear, positive affirmations full of conviction are the antidote to that vicious cycle. When someone repeats with faith a sentence that praises their discipline, self-confidence, and consistency, they're arming their mind for success. Repetition builds a pattern, an emotional architecture that becomes the automatic default for tackling challenges and creating lasting results. A true internal command for entrepreneurship and financial discipline. The trick is knowing the process isn't instant. It takes patience and emotional control to replace years of fear-planted limiting beliefs. The mind needs time to reprogram, and that time comes through daily consistency, repeating the phrase at the ideal moment, together with the emotion that amplifies the message. A little provocation. The future is shaped by the silent identity forming in the subconscious, but the key is what we do with our thoughts before sleep closes in. If you think sleep is just a pause from the world, rethink that. Great achievers, from Henry Ford to Rockefeller, knew the real power lies in the subconscious, which stays active while we rest. They use the last hour before sleep as sacred time to program success, feeding the brain motivational phrases and clear goals for the subconscious to work on. It's an old strategy, increasingly validated by behavioral science and entrepreneurship research. This subconscious power is like a hidden engine that pushes body and mind toward consistent results. The daily discipline of controlling thoughts and emotions before sleep turns repeating affirmations into a real ritual that strengthens self-confidence and emotional control. The entrepreneur who masters this habit gets a huge edge, because they're planting deep roots for personal and financial growth that naturally blossom over time. So here's the warning. Wanting alone isn't enough. You need to use the night as an ally, creating a mental routine that reinforces the goal with emotion and clarity. In the silence of sleep, the mind doesn't forget, and the power of firm, emotional repetition works behind the scenes to make sure results aren't just wishes, but a fate shaped by discipline and consistency. And it's at that moment the door opens to the next step, which requires something even more specific to make your sentence powerful. A random, vague, emotionless sentence is just a whisper to your subconscious. The secret is crafting a line that's clear like a direct command, one that points exactly to what you want, sets a deadline, and carries unshakable certainty. That turns the declaration into an internal contract the mind is ready to fulfill, driven by discipline and confidence. That combo is what makes entrepreneurship bloom, and results appear. Packing emotion into that sentence is like charging a battery for the subconscious. The more genuine feeling and visualization you add, the more the mind treats it as real, urgent, and possible. Consistently repeating that sentence while focusing on emotional control strengthens your identity and builds a bridge between conscious will and the automatic patterns steering behavior. That bucket of positive energy is the fuel for the daily discipline that drives success. You can't just memorize or parrot it without belief like an empty mantra. You've got to feel the sentence as if it's already true, with the conviction of someone who knows results depend as much on the mind as on concrete actions. This formula, practiced consistently, makes the mind work in your favor and prepares the ground for the next stage, which explains why repeating the process until it's consolidated produces deep transformation. The human mind doesn't change overnight. Real transformation demands consistency and time. Saying the same sentence every day at the same time becomes a powerful ritual of discipline that aligns the subconscious with conscious desire. This regular practice, backed by emotion and self-confidence, is what actually changes ingrained habits and starts building a new identity, the one that delivers concrete results in entrepreneurship and personal life. The science behind it's simple. Neural pathways strengthen with repetition, and each time the sentence is said with feeling, it's like programming the mind to believe it, leaving no room for doubt. Between 30 and 90 days is the window where this reprogramming typically happens. During that time, emotional control and discipline are the real heroes. The secret is daily commitment, even when motivation's low, because continuous action seals the new pattern of thought and behavior. All this creates a virtuous cycle. As identity shifts, results show up, boosting self-confidence and consistency, which in turn reinforce the cycle of repetition and emotional control. A gentle challenge. Are you willing to invest consecutive days in this transformation so the habit becomes part of who you are? Think about it. This is only the start for deeper steps to come, each one more revealing and intense. Mental repetition and emotional control before sleep aren't just lip service. Henry Ford, Rockefeller, Edison, and Andrew Carnegie are examples of people who cemented success with similar practices. These major entrepreneurs used pre-sleep moments to reinforce goals with firm phrases and clear visualizations, trusting the subconscious to work while they rested. What seemed simple was actually a powerful tool for lasting consistency and self-confidence. These masters of business knew emotional control was as vital as physical and mental effort. They programmed their minds not just to think, but to feel certain of success as if it had already happened. That mental discipline included repeating motivational sentences that strengthened focus and resolve, building an internal identity that guided actions and results. For them, sleep was strategic, where internal change sped up external development. So no, this isn't a new trick. And what great achievers share is constant practice of this strategy, paired with discipline and emotional control. That nightly consistency is what creates real, sustainable results in entrepreneurship. It's up to the reader to decide whether to adopt this habit and start harvesting the fruits. And to understand the emotional side of the practice coming next, get ready for a deeper dive that really matters. Clear motivational sentences and discipline aren't enough if the emotions paired with them aren't properly managed. Emotion is the engine that turns words into lived experiences in the subconscious. When you align positive emotion, self-confidence, and discipline, repeating the sentence becomes a powerful suggestion that shapes identity and outcomes. This is where emotional control not only supports, but amplifies the whole auto-suggestion process. Imagine the power of repeating an emotionally charged sentence right when the brain's most receptive, just before sleep. Emotion acts like an amplifier, giving the subconscious extra energy to absorb the new programming faster and deeper. Entrepreneurship needs this kind of control because it's the chain of positive emotions and discipline that cements habits and creates an identity resistant to doubt and fear. Cultivating emotional control is a direct investment in success, like a daily high-return investment. That's why the moment before sleep should be treated as a sacred ritual, a space where bad thoughts and feelings are banished to make room for motivational phrases loaded with conviction, discipline, and self-confidence. A touch of purpose-filled mystery. Mastering these emotions in the last hour is the password to the next stage of your journey, where heart and mind work together to make results not just wished for, but inevitable. This final instant of the day is a golden opportunity, a time when discipline becomes an ally of transformation. Instead of using this hour to relive failures and worries, which sap emotional control and consistency, use it to reset. The last hour should be protected, a real sanctuary for a mind focused on entrepreneurship and personal growth. By carving out this time as a rebuilding ritual, you start creating a mental pattern that honors auto-suggestion and emotional discipline. Seek a routine where emotional control, repetition of motivational sentences, and visualization of results play the leading roles, pushing away doubts and fears that only slow you down. This daily care builds the self-confidence needed to turn results into real achievements. So the last hour before sleep shouldn't be a playground for negative thoughts. It should be conscious prep for the next day, where emotion and mind work in tune. The expectation in the air is that the real key to success is respecting this ritual and moving forward with discipline and focus on what comes next. Many confuse success with visible effort, believing it's all about daytime willpower and sweat. But real transformation happens backstage, in the subconscious, away from sight, as the identity of discipline, self-confidence, and emotional control gets built brick by brick, night after night. Entrepreneurs who get this gain a rare advantage, because they know results are a direct consequence of a mind program for success. It's in this quiet construction that the magic of consistency lives. What you repeat and feel before bed becomes part of you, shaping actions, choices, and daily habits. It's not just conscious effort. It's a steady, emotionally connected identity that determines real outcomes in entrepreneurship and finances. That shift in mindset is what separates those who try from those who actually succeed. So I'll close this cycle of topics with a subtle provocation. If success grows from these inner seeds, what are you planting right before you sleep? The answer will unfold in the next experiences and practices, which go beyond words and involve more emotion and discipline to ensure results are a choice, not a fluke. We've reached the point where applying all this knowledge can really change your life. Are you ready to take emotional control? Cultivate discipline, stay consistent, and use motivational phrases to reshape your identity and your results? What habit will you start repeating tonight before bed to program your success? Think hard. Isn't it time to leave fear and doubt behind and build a mind that works for you? Remember, the true edge is constant action, the quiet discipline that shapes self-confidence and delivers concrete results. Are you willing to accept this challenge and commit to yourself? If so, don't miss the upcoming videos packed with insights to help you keep moving forward on this journey of entrepreneurship and personal transformation. To keep learning and join the team of people who turn thought into wealth, subscribe to the channel and hit notifications. That way you won't miss a thing, and you'll stay on track toward success.